All right, here we testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, we're gonna get started a little bit. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. How's everyone doing today? Now, if you have any questions throughout this presentation, you can put it in the comments. Let me know what your questions are. I'll be able to help. Now, if my sound is coming a little bit too strong, I'm going to pull this back just a little bit. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. Your wish is your command. How to manifest your desires. Now, this is a CD set that was produced years ago. It was hard to find, and I want to share with you guys how you can get this program for free. A lot of people come to my channel and want to learn how they can get your wish to command completely for free. What you want to do, you want to go to any one of my videos. I'm broadcasting here. Under here, there's going to be a description box. You can click on that very first link. Clicking on that first link will take you to a sales page. And from here, you can just scroll down a little bit on the sales page and you want to tap buy now. Clicking on buy now, you will be taken to an order page. On this order page, you want to scroll down just a little bit and enter the coupon code. The coupon code is YWIYC and you hit apply. Once you hit apply, you can see that the discount code has been applied and you can save $500 using this discount code. You want to scroll back on top. You want to fill out the contact, billing, and payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. They just want to find people who are actually serious about this program. Tap complete your order. I'm tapping complete your order and you will see an email in your inbox in a little bit. And from there, you want to tap on that link in the email. For whatever reason, if you don't find that email in your inbox, you can go to your spam folder. Go to your spam folder and just check if that email is in the spam folder. Redrag it back into your inbox. This is how you can get the program for free using the coupon code YWIYC. Now you can use all caps. You can use lowercase. I've tried both and it's going to work. Come back on top, fill out the contact, billing, and payment information. And once you tap on that link in your email, you'll be taken to the 14 audio series, which is your command, how to manifest your desires. Now, you can put this on your MP3 player, you can stream it on your phone, on your computer, and you'll have access to it. It's not a DVD set. People ask me that. It's something digital that you can download. And I've been listening to the CD set for years now. Every single year, I learn something new from the CD set. And I want to share with you what I learned from the CD set and how I've implemented into my own personal life to better my own personal health. So let's just get this thing started. So the very quick introduction, my name is John. The CD set was introduced to me by my own brother. And my brother told me, hey, you should listen to this. I started listening to it. I was like, wow, this makes a lot of sense. I've been studying personal development for over 20 years, since in my 20s. I read through a lot of books. I used to have a lot of CD sets, and it was very tough for me to piece the puzzle together. How did it all work comprehensively? And this is what Kevin does so well. When he teaches the law of manifestation, he's able to piece all these different pieces together in a cohesive whole. So the 4 major lessons are, number 1, who do you listen to? Number 2, teachability index. Number 3, training balance scale. And number 4, 4 steps to learning or 4 steps to mastery. Now, who do you listen to? According to Kevin, he says, listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. I'm going to say that again. Who do you listen to? You can listen to many people online. You want to achieve your goals, dreams, desires. Who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Now, many of you might be thinking, hey, this sounds very, very practical. Sounds almost too simple and easy. Kevin says, these lessons, they take about 5 minutes to learn, but a lifetime to master. It's going to take 5 minutes to learn, a lifetime to master. You need to listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Now, for a long time, I struggled with weight loss rebound. I was downtown San Diego, and at that time, I wanted to lose weight. This is a picture of me back then, and I would do what the trainers tell me to do. All I knew back then was, hey, you got to get into the gym, you got to do more reps, you got to do more sets, and you got to calorie count. I would lose 2 pounds, but gain it all back. Maybe I came back 3 or 4 pounds. I would lose 4 or 5 pounds and gain it all back, and then some. It was 1 step forward, 2 steps back. This is me, downtown San Diego. We were going out to the bar, and you can see I was putting on jeans that one evening. I can still remember. I was asking myself, why are my jeans so tight? Could it be I left them in the dryer for too long? What about my shirt? How come it feels so tight? You can see these buttons, they were screaming at me. Who are you listening to right now to get your practical advice to help you achieve your goals, dreams, and desires? Have they actually achieved the desire, your goals that you're looking for? Have they actually achieved the results that you're looking for? I was in downtown San Diego. There was a Horton Plaza there. And inside the Horton Plaza, there was 24-hour fitness. So I went to the 24-hour fitness. And inside that gym, you know, when you go to these gyms, these trainers would be pulling up. They'll be asking you, hey, I'm going to help you be your trainer, be your coach, I'm going to help you get your exercises right. Well, the problem that I had was that these trainers, they were even more out of shape than I was. They were even more out of shape than I was. Who do you listen to? Learn to listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Have they demonstrated the results? We've been trained to listen to all the wrong people. If people have their certificates, they went through schooling for this, they're the trusted expert, and all of a sudden I just go along with what they say. I don't think for myself. I don't evaluate. And that's why many people, they go on these endless detours. They try something over here, it doesn't work. Okay, they try something else over here, it doesn't work. Try something else over there, it doesn't work. Now, I struggled with my health for many years, and it took many years to go from this situation to this situation over here. Here's another photo of me, also in San Diego at the time. And right now, I'm very grateful, very humbly sure that I have a six-pack ab all year around without any weight loss rebound. I had to listen to many different people across the board, not just naturopathic doctors, holistic people, and I had to apply. Now, one of the biggest problems that I had was nasal congestion. I had inflammation in my joints, even in my 20s. It was just, I did not know how to resolve these problems. So all I did was go to the pharmacist and I'll pick up these medications. It was Claritin. I took Claritin almost every single day to get a few hours of relief. If any of you have been on Claritin, you'll know it gives you a lot of side effects. You may have drowsiness, you may have a lack of focus, and things just kept getting worse and worse. We've been taught to listen and go along with what the doctors say, okay? And that's another thing I had to evaluate. I had to say to myself, hey, am I going in the right direction? I've been listening to these doctors, I've been taking these medications, but these conditions get worse and they come with side effects. And I go back to the doctor and they tell me, oh, we actually have these other set of medications that can help with the side effects. Joint pain continues to persist. I'd even started to have some liver discomfort. If you look through a lot of these different meds, antihistamines, they do cause liver damage long time if you continue to take them. A lot of people don't know that. Now, what else that I was dealing with? I was dealing with chronic constipation. So I went to the pharmacist, I took a lot of these medications, and unfortunately, they will work in the short term. And I would be chronically constipated again. And I will discuss in more detail about this. Who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Now, share a quick story with y'all. A couple months ago, I took my own family member to the hospital. When you're at the hospital at the ER, it was an emergency situation. And while I was there, this doctor pulled up. Of course, he's going to have you get your vitals done, your heart rate, respiratory rate, how much oxygen's in your blood. What else do they do? They're going to take some blood samples. They're going to see your blood sugar. They're going to do the ECG or the EKG, electrocardiogram. Maybe you go to the x-ray, get your x-ray done, see if any broken bones, so on and so forth. Long story short, they're going to come back and evaluate all your lab results. And the doctor's going to say, hey, these values are out of range within range. And these values are out of range within range, out of range within range. And they're going to upsell you to the next set of procedures, maybe have you stay over the hospital for monitoring. When you're going to the hospital, none of this professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, always seek the advice of your physician, other qualified health providers, any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Now that got out of the way, are your doctors actually healthy? The family doctor that you go to right now, okay, or you're pulling up to the ER, or anywhere that you go to, are these doctors actually healthy themselves? They're so quick to criticize your lab reports, criticize your EKG, criticize everything. Isn't it time to tell your doctors, hey doc, why don't you show me your lab results? How's your blood pressure? Are you dealing with diabetes? Are you having all these chronic diseases? You're also suffering with them yourself that you can't fix. Or a lot of these doctors, if you go to the family doctor, a lot of them are actually overweight. Tell them to get up on that scale. They're telling you to get on that scale, and they're going to measure your height. And from these two numbers, you can measure your BMI or body mass index. If your family doctor's got a BMI over 30, I don't know what you got to do. Maybe you got to find yourself a different family doctor. Who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Their current state. Do you want to be in that particular state? Do you want to be where they're at? And I know these are very, very harsh things to say sometimes, but I'm just bringing the truth. Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be across the board. Now, this could be people you're following on YouTube, or you are subscribed to different email lists. And these people really take you to the promised land. Now, I had to listen to people outside of my scope of awareness, going to my doctor, listening to these pharmacists. It was not working out. I had to listen to a different group of people, naturopathic doctor, holistic practitioners. Maybe these individuals, they never went to medical school, but they demonstrated the results of vibrant health. They're healthy all year around. They're not doing these roller coaster swings. They're up one moment and then you see them on posting, oh, I'm down the next. No, they're just steadily increasing their health year over year. The trajectory of their health is just getting better and better and better. And that's what I was looking for. And that's what I wanted. And that's what I pursued for years. Now, that was the first lesson. Now, if you're joining this call, I just want to share with you real quick how you can get this CD set completely for free. It's all in digital format. What you want to do, you want to go to any of my videos. You want to tap on the very first link in the descriptions. It's going to take you to a sales page. From here, you want to just tap buy now. Tap in buy now, take you to an order page. You want to type in the coupon code YWIYC and hit apply. Once you hit apply, you can see the discount codes in the line, saving yourself $500. You want to scroll back on top, fill out your contact, billing, and payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. Complete my order. Tap in my complete my order. You're going to check your email inbox in a few minutes. If you don't see it in your inbox, go to your spam folder. It may be in your spam folder. If it is, drag it back into your inbox. Tap that email and tap the link in the email, and it's going to take you directly to this CD set with the different lessons. You can see there are 14 lessons in all, 14 audio series, your wishes, your command, how to manifest your desires. Now, throughout this presentation, you can also ask me questions, ask me different questions in the chat box. I may not get to it right away, but I will answer them eventually on this call. The next lesson is a very powerful lesson. The next lesson I'm going to talk about is the teachability index. The teachability index. It's a very, very hard lesson for most people to take because it's going to challenge you a lot. It's going to definitely challenge you a lot. The next lesson is teachability index or the coachability index. Many people say, hey, I'm very teachable. I'm very coachable. How do you quantify something like that? I'm going to share with you how you can quantify your teachability index. Kevin Trudeau, he's an amazing coach, amazing trainer, amazing a lot of things. He's not just focused on, oh, to manifest your desires, all you have to do is do more meditation, do more journaling, do more visualizations, get some more crystals. That's what the world wants you to think. They think that you gotta watch another YouTube video to get what you want. Okay? Teachability index is very, very practical. Number one, what is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to learn? You gotta give yourself a score from 0 to 10. Next, what is your willingness to accept change? Also give yourself a score from 0 to 10. How do you know if you have a willingness to learn? Score from 0 to 10. You're setting aside your favorite activities and using that time to better your life. Maybe you're listening to audio CDs, you're taking courses online or go to conferences in person, you're reading books. What is your favorite activity right now? Let's identify that. For most people, when they go back home from work, they are turning on their Netflix, turning on Hulu, Amazon Prime Videos, catching their favorite TV shows. There's always a new TV show that they can catch. Or they go play sports with their friends, go drinking with boys, or heading out to the nightclubs on the weekends, playing golf, fantasy football, whatever it is. That's their favorite activity. They're willing to set all that aside and say, you know what? I'm going to set aside my Netflix and canceling all these streaming services. I'm going to pick up audio CDs or digital audios. I'm going to listen to books or read books. I'm going to take some courses online or attend conferences in person. That's how they start to get the ball rolling in the right direction. And they have to give themselves a score. They're 30 days in a month, right? How many of those days are they willing to set aside their favorite activity and increase their willingness to learn? Now, if they're only doing 10 days out of 30, that means they're only at 33%. So they can give themselves a score 3 out of 10. Does that kind of make sense? So teachability index is very powerful because one, it shows how coachable are you. But we're not done just there. There's so much more to this. And the second part of teachability index is what is your willingness to accept change? What is your willingness to accept change? Also giving yourself a score from 0 to 10. Now that you learn the lessons, maybe you listen to some audios, listen to some podcasts, you read some books, you took some online courses, or you attended some conferences. Now you have this information, right? What is your willingness to accept change? That means rubber meets the road. Are you willing to apply the information that you actually learn? Most people are not willing to make any changes in their own personal life. They're willing to read the book, they're willing to attend the conference, but when it actually rubber meets the road, they're not doing anything. I'm sure there are many people that bought P90X, they bought Taibo, or they bought a lot of information regarding fitness on QVC, or they even bought Peloton. But they're not doing the exercise of the Tony Horn. They're watching Tony Horn on the DVD set. They're watching Taibo on their TV, and they're still eating potato chips. What that means is their willingness to accept change is an absolute 0. And you have to multiply these numbers together, right? So your willingness to learn, it could be 10 out of 10. You're spending all that time learning, absorbing from podcasts, DVD sets. But your willingness to accept change is an absolute 0. You haven't done the exercises. You have a lot of PDFs downloaded in your downloads folder. You read through them, but you're not doing anything with them. That tells me that your willingness to accept change is 0. Multiplying these two numbers together, 10 multiplied by 0 is still 0. So your teachability index is still 0. Your coachability index is 0. So you should wonder why your life is not changing. There should be no mystical things that you should be consulting with. You don't have to look at astrological charts. You don't have to check for Mercury retrograde. None of that stuff. You're not willing to put the work in. Me? I've been doing detox protocols since 2019. I've been doing them on a weekly basis. Me personally, I haven't skipped a week since 2019. And that's how I unlock my own personal health. Now, your path may be a little bit different, but I'm saying I'm willing to put in the work. I don't care if I have to be very persistent. I have to set aside that time, set aside my favorite activities, continues to learn, continue to apply what I've learned, and that's how I'm getting the results all year round. Okay, so that's the teachability index. You have to improve your willingness to learn, improve your willingness to accept change. I'm going to take a short little break here before I jump on the next lesson. Just real quick, if you're joining on our call, you may be wondering how you can get the CD set or audio series completely for free. Very easy. I'm going to share with you how you can get that done. Now, under every last one of the videos, there's going to be a link. You can tap on that link. Tap it on that link. It's going to take you to a sales page. You want to tap buy now. And for those of you, you may be wondering, what is this program all about? I'm going to tell you what this program is all about. If you're into Napoleon Hill, if you're into personal development, Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, Joe Vitale, Tony Robbins, Earl Nightingale, Joe Dispenza, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Charlie Tremendous Jones, Kevin Robert, Ed Foreman, Joe Bauer, Grant Cardone, Dennis Waitley, Marshall Silver, Neville Goddard. You need to get this program. You can get this program completely for free. On the sales page, there are multiple buy now buttons. Tap on any one of them. And when you're on this checkout page, you want to type in the coupon code YWIYC. Your wish is your command, YWIYC. You want to hit apply. Once you hit apply, you want to come back on top, fill out your contact, fill in payment information, and tap complete my order. Once you tap complete your order, check your email, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. If it's not there, go to your spam folder. It may be in your spam folder. Redrag that email back into your inbox. Tap that email and tap that link in the email, and you will get access to this program completely for free. We've been going over your wishes to command, the major lessons contained within the CD set. The first lesson was, who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. Second lesson, teachability index. What is your willingness to learn? Giving yourself a score from 0 to 10. And what is your willingness to accept change? Also giving yourself a score from 0 to 10. The next lesson is a very, very powerful, exciting lesson I'll be sharing with y'all. It's called the training balance scale. Training balance scale. Every single year, I listen to the CD set, and I have a profound respect for the CD set because every time I listen, it deepens my understanding, and I see it in a completely different light. Completely different light. So think of a scale that tilts back and forth, okay? On one side of the scale, it's about how you think and how you feel. What is your why? Your dreams, goals, attitude, your mental processes, your vibration, your internal motivation. How do you think and how you feel? On the other side of the scale are the how actions, your specific techniques, your strategies, your action steps, plans, activities, your physical action. In the world of personal development, they always stress on this side of the training balance scale. They say the reason why you're not achieving the goals that you want is because you're missing the how actions. You're missing specific techniques. You don't know the strategies. You don't know the action steps. You don't know the plans and activities. And that's why you're failing. Really evaluate that statement from the world of personal development. Is that really true? We don't have enough action steps. You can go to ChatGPT right now. You can get countless action steps if you just type in a few prompts. Where you go to YouTube, you ask them questions. Where you go to any search engine, they can provide you with a whole bunch of blogs that you'll never read for the rest of your life on specific techniques. Now, according to Kevin, he's more focused on how you think and how you feel. What is your why? Your dreams, goals, attitude, mental processes, vibration, internal motivation. This is not just some fleeting thoughts that you have at a very surface level, where I'm going to have a positive mental attitude for about 5 minutes, but this is a constant state of being at a very, very deep level. Now, in my current level of understanding, I think this has a lot to do with your subconscious mind. Many of you in the world of personal development, you're familiar with this. You've seen this iceberg countless times, and they tell you your conscious thinking only commands about 5% of your mental capacity or mental power. Conscious thinking about your short-term memory, your logical thinking, your willpower, decisions, and analysis. And they're going to say, you got to focus over here, and you're focusing on over here when you don't even know it. But what really needs to be shifted or changed or transform is the subconscious mind or the unconscious thinking. Where are your true habits? What are your true beliefs about your own values, your true identity, your creativity, your self-worth, your imagination, self-confidence? That's all down there in the unconscious thinking. Anybody can be positive for about 5 minutes. Think about what you really think about when you're sitting alone in your car by yourself. No music to distract you, or you're just folding laundry by yourself, not distracted by anything on TV or radio. What's really cranking in the back of your mind? What do you really think about in those moments? Are you thinking about disappointments of the past? You're having imaginary arguments with people trying to prove that you're right? Or you are worried about this constant stress and anxiety from the headlines that you see on a daily basis through media, social media. That's really what's cranking in the back of your mind. So on the surface, people may think that you're really well put together, you're well dressed. Okay. What's really underneath, under the surface, isn't going all right. And that's the part we need to evaluate. Think about how you think and how you feel at a very core level. What are your goals, dreams, attitude, mental processes, vibration, internal motivation? Napoleon Hill, he wrote the book, Think and Grow Rich. He didn't write the book, hey, you gotta know all the specific techniques, then you can grow rich. Think and grow rich, how you feel and how you think. Now, the subconscious mind, the problem that we have in the modern society is that we've been reprogrammed. Now, you were born for success, you were engineered for success, but you've been programmed for failure. I'm going to explain that in detail. Throughout our life, many of us, including myself, we watched a lot of TV shows, especially when I was a teenager. I was going through middle school, high school at the time. I watched a lot of different TV shows that would just pop up. And what did I watch? I watched TV show like King of the Hill, right? What else do we have? We have The Simpsons, and we had a lot of reruns with Cheers. We also had Married with Children, Al Bundy, and then we have Family Guy. This is later. And we also have South Park. Okay? And if you watch these TV shows day in and day out, day in and day out, what they're doing, they're installing something in your unconscious thinking. They're installing something in your subconscious mind. When you're watching these TV shows, you're laughing with them. You're like, hey, Nick is such a relatable guy. You know, I can relate with him. He lives in an average neighborhood, average home, average everything. And his friends are also average. They love being average altogether, drinking beer. What else do you have? You have Homer Simpson living in an average home, average everything. Going out to the bar. What else do you have? This guy on Cheers. So you relate with these people, you watch them every single day, and you wonder why, over time, you relate with Al Bundy, you develop a dad dog. He doesn't really share anything about personal development. He doesn't talk about how he's going to better his life. Every day is same old, same old. Same thing with this guy, Family Guy, very, very humorous. Even Cartman, throughout these characters, this is the one that people remember. And he's a fat guy. He's a fat character. And it's very insidious because look at how they've done it. Okay. You're watching Hank Hill. You identify with Hank Hill, and in the back of your mind, you're like, at least I'm not a complete slob like Bill. Okay? Or you're watching Homer Simpson, you're like, I identify with Homer Simpson, and I have the same type of arguments with my own wife. I struggle the same way with my kids. They argue with me, but at least I'm not disgusting like Barney over here. And that's what you're really installing in the subconscious mind. Your true habits and beliefs, your values and identity, your imagination and self-confidence is tied to these characters that you see day in and day out. You can see the similarity, okay? We got King of the Hill, we have Homer Simpson, This guy on Cheers, I forgot his name. Al Bundy, Married with Children, Family Guy, and Cartman. Okay? Training balance, getting how you think and how you feel, your why, your true dreams and goals. Because if you watch these average dudes all day, every day, on one show after the next, I remember when I was in high school, I think it was Married with Children, and right after it was The Simpsons, and then might have been Roseanne, might have been Martin Lawrence, might have been Seventh Heaven, but I'm just saying, all these TV shows, they do have a compounding effect on you. Now, most people, they always revert back to their programming. If you're programmed with a dad bod, your habits and beliefs, your surroundings, it's very tough for you to get a six-pack abs. Say that again, okay? Many people, they want to get six-pack abs, right? But what's really under there in the blueprint, in the subconscious programming, they don't have a six-pack abs person because they don't look at somebody with six-pack abs all day, every day. They're just seeing these lazy people. And some of you might think them crazy, all right? I don't care. I'm just saying, many people that have weight loss rebound, not because they don't work out hard enough or not because they're not counting their calories. It's because deep inside within them, they don't believe they can have the six-pack abs. They identify with Homer Simpson. They identify with Al Bundy. They identify with Hank Hill. So their whole thing is, okay, I'm going to work out really, really hard. January 1st. That's what they do. I'm going to work out hard. I'm getting my six-pack abs so I can get my Instagrams readied up, get my social media so people can like my photos because I'm going to have a six-pack. Let me tell you, that's very, very possible when you're in your 20s. It gets increasingly more difficult because you're going to lose your metabolism. I've already been through all that, okay? Moreover, you don't have a six-pack ass person at your very core. So once summertime is over, okay, you did get a six-pack ass during the summertime. And some of you, you got all these AI tools. You can actually change your photos through AI. Well, what's going to happen is that when fall kicks in, your activity level is going to go down. You're going to be a little bit more sedentary, going to work at your desk a little bit more, and that weight's going to come back on. Weight's going to come back on. Well, later on, you have October. What's in October? There's going to be so much sugar flowing around because of Halloween, not just through. There's going to be Halloween parties at the office, people being coming in with all their candies and cakes, pumpkin pies. You might have some celebrations at the office. So you're loaded up on all the sugar. A couple weeks later, you have Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's going to kick in. Not just one Thanksgiving dinner. People go to multiple Thanksgiving dinners over that season. So you're packing on more weight, packing on more calories. And a couple more weeks after that, you're going to have Christmas. You're going to have Kwanzaa. You're going to have Hanukkah. More overeating. Before you know it, your dad bod is right back. And your chains are going to get tighter. Your pants are going to get tighter. You're going to have to loosen up your belt. And you're going to go back to Hank Hill. Because the blueprint is Homer Simpson. The blueprint inside is this guy on Cheers. Where you have Al Bundy down there. Where you enjoy watching The Family Guy. Where you enjoy watching Cartman on South Park. And you're always going to revert back to the programming. You're always going to revert back to the unconscious thinking. This happens in your health. This happens in your money. This happens in your relationships and what you think you deserve. Many people, after they win the lottery, they go back broke because their unconscious thinking is still a broke person. Doesn't matter if they win the lottery or they make many, many millions as a super athlete. Or some people, they keep falling into the same relational patterns again and again and again. Because their unconscious thinking is in a bad place. their habits and beliefs at the very core level. That's the part we need to really identify. We need to go in there. We need to reshape that image. And it's not going to get done overnight. I'm still in the process. Let me show you a little bit different. So for me, my problem wasn't the blueprint when it comes to my own personal health. I had a six-pack when I was in, I would say, as a teenager, because I played basketball and I skateboarded almost every single day. And that was kind of like my thing, right? So it was easy for me to get six-pack abs. But I started working early. I started working in an office at 18, doing software development. And I was doing that office lifestyle, eating a lot of fast food. And before you know it, by the time I was 21, 22 years old, I already had some type of a beer belly. And I would work very, very hard, going out for runs. I struggled with weight loss rebound since my 20s. But my problem wasn't actually the actual blueprint. My problem was the methodology, right? Because I had to learn so many things regarding my own personal health. I had to learn human physiology. I had to learn my internal organs, how they work, and how I can clean my internal organs, how I can improve my health from the inside out. And that's the journey that I went on. I have a program called the Mega Poop Transformation Challenge. Lose 3 to 5 pounds per month without going to the gym. I know it sounds a little bit ridiculous. I don't really care. You guys can check out this program if you like. Okay? I'm going to share with you guys how you can clean yourself from the inside, because that's what many of you are missing. You don't understand how your digestive system works. You never really looked at this chart. Of course, I'm not sharing from as a doctor. I'm not sharing as a holistic doctor, nothing like that. You're on your own. This is not professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. I'm just showing you, if you are chronically constipated, that means there's a lot of waste material trapped inside this pipework right here. Food enters your mouth down the esophagus into your stomach. Inside your stomach, digestive enzymes breaking down the food. And over time, food is going to go into your small intestines for nutrient absorption. The small intestines is incredibly long. It is 4.5 meters, roughly 15 feet, followed by the large intestines, another 1.5 meters, another 5 feet in length. You need to get the waste material out. Most people, they're sitting on 3 to 5 pounds, 5 to 10 pounds, 10 to 15 pounds of old fecal matter. If you just get rid of this waste material out of your body, you'll lose 5 to 10 pounds. I'm not joking. And if you don't fix chronic constipation, you're going to be dealing with toxic megacolon. You may have to get a hemicolectomy. You may have to do ileoanastomosis. You may have a chronic, severely displaced colon. You may be dealing with diverticulitis, colitis. You may be dealing with Crohn's disease, rectal prolapse. All I'm saying is I went on this path of learning about my own system, my own digestive system. And when it comes to the digestive system, we're categorically the same. If you're a human being watching this video right now, you have the same system. But most people, they don't even know what the system's all about. When they look at this chart, it's very foreign to them because they never really looked at it. Well, I'm going to teach you what that's all about in my program. So that's the first thing. This could be very helpful for y'all, some of out there. You want to get into better health. You want to get into better health, you got to learn how to clean your digestive system. Once I started doing that, I learned so many things. I started learning about how I can get rid of internal parasites out of my body. And that's another topic most people don't want to touch. It's again very, very foreign, right? Because they don't want to believe that parasites actually exist in first world countries. I don't care if you're in the United States, Canada, Australia, you're out there in Switzerland, okay? Parasites exist in every country. And they're very, very aggressive. They know how to do two things very well. They know how to survive and replicate. And there are many different ways how parasites can get into your body. Many people, they fancy doing these sushi, sashimi dates, where they eat hot pot. or they eat a lot of undercooked steaks. Parasites will get inside. Parasites are already in there, and you're just consuming them. Moreover, many of you are pet owners, and many people, they want to take these very cute photos with their pets. They don't understand your pets could be a vector for parasites. Or many of you, you're going down to the Amazon, you want to do ayahuasca, you have no idea how to filter that local water, you don't know how to treat that local water. You're drinking parasites straight into your body and you go back home worse. Are you guys with me? If you're here on this call, be happy to answer any of your questions. Just let me know what I can help you with. Where are you guys from? So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to help you answer. We're going over having Trudeau, your wish is your command, but I'm providing tools that I've used myself personally. I'm not going to share things that I haven't done myself. First lesson, who do you listen to? Listen to people who have been where you are and where you want to be. I was struggling with my health. I came across YouTube videos. The person that really helped me on my detox journey, well, there were many of them. One of them was Charlotte Gerson. Charlotte Gerson, she's the daughter of Max Gerson. I actually went to her house in San Diego many years ago. This is 2013, 2014. Went to her house, learned a lot about detox. YouTube, there was a guy, his name's Josh Mason, and he has a program. If you look up detox juice, you can find a lot of information online. He was vibrantly healthy, and then he went down a very, very dark season of his life, and detoxing was what brought him back. And I want to thank Josh for teaching me this protocol. Now, my protocol is still a little bit different than his. How I prepare it in a specific proportions, how I drink it is also very, very different. But if you want to go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right, okay, you want to look into detox. Not only that, you also want to learn about the subconscious mind, because if you have that dad boss sitting in there inside of you, if you're still watching King Hill, you're still watching the Simpson reruns, Cheers reruns, you love to watch Al Bundy, you love to watch The Family Guy or South Park, you know, these guys are in your subconscious mind, their habits and beliefs, because you watch them every single day. So people that are doing television, they're installing that program in you. You will never achieve that six-pack abs permanently. You may achieve it in the short term. And most people, they just give up after a while. They're just like, hey, I'm just going to have to deal with this rest of my life. I'm just going to be a fat slob. And at least I'm not a fat slob like this guy over here, like Bill, right? They also give you a way out. It's like, you identify with Homer Simpson, but they give you a way out. They say, at least you're not disgusting like Barney. That's his name, right? It's Barney. I'm pretty sure his name is Barney. Yeah, Barney Gumble. That's his name. And he's even more of a slob than Homer Simpson. And they'd install that in you so you can have like a good feel. Hey, at least I'm not nasty like that. That's part of the training balance, get how you feel and how you think at a very, very core level. Now, we need to understand there are different meditation techniques, modalities, and tools that can help reshape our subconscious mind. And one tool that I've been using for over a month now, I think that could be also very helpful for any of you out there. You need to develop yourself a personalized coach. What is your ideal future self? You know that right now, if you're not getting the results that you want, part of it is your lack of learning and lack of execution. And another part of it is you don't have the blueprint for this future version of yourself. You don't even know what this future version of yourself look like. Why do you really identify and put this on paper, put this into a system? How do you turn your ideal future self into a personalized AI coach in just 60 minutes using 3 simple prompts? Now, I took a little bit longer. I'm not very good with AI. I'll just tell y'all, I'm pretty new to it. I've been learning, and a good friend of mine, he's a very good friend of mine, and I've known him since 2012, okay? He came out with this program very recently. It's only $10, but he's so generous. There is a money back guarantee. If you don't like this program for whatsoever, get a refund, okay? And what this thing does is, okay, you're gonna use ChatGPT. ChatGPT, you're gonna work and develop a future self, but you're gonna have this future self that is personalized AI coach that you can communicate with every single day. So if you're looking to get clarity on your next steps, if you need daily accountability that fits your style, and guidance that actually sticks, using the only mentor that truly gets you, it's you, okay? This program is phenomenal because he teaches you their tools outside of ChatGPT, how you can utilize it. For example, he told me and taught me how to use 11 Labs. 11 Labs is another website, and what this thing can do, it can clone voices. You can also develop an AI coach using your own personal voice. You can talk to this future version of yourself and ask this person questions. But this person is going to respond back in your own voice. I know it sounds kind of creepy, but I've done it, and I'm like, well, it starts to shift my mind around. And that's what we need. We need these shifts. We need these deep inner shifts, that this future version of yourself, it's not so distant from you, okay? And the more you can spend time with this future version, how this person think, what are the decision matrices that this person uses, what are the mental framework this person uses, you begin to bridge that gap. You begin to bridge that gap. I've been using this tool, and on this tool, I learned so much information outside of my scope of awareness. Just like when I went on this path, I want to better my health, right? First level, I have to learn about the digestive system. It's a very long piece of paper. I got to clean that out. I started doing that for months and months and months. And then new information regarding internal parasites came on my radar screen. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to deal with these internal parasites. How do I get rid of them in the right way, right? And most people, they're going after them in the wrong way. How consistently should I be going after them in the right way that can maximize my effort? So I went down that journey. Whole bunch of things off my radar. So I did that for years, cleaning internal parasites. And then new information unlocked where I learned about liver and gallbladder health. Not just taking a bunch of supplements to improve my liver and health, but I started to learn, oh, there are these things called gallstones. And gallstones could be trapped inside the gallbladder. And many people, they're having these gallbladder attacks. They go to this hospital, get their whole gallbladder removed. I learned there are natural ways how you can flush out gallstones out of the gallbladder, and also intrahepatic stones out of the liver. So there's a lot of congestion that can take place within the liver. I learned the liver is a filter. It is filtering, if I remember correctly, 250 gallons of blood every single day. Okay, and your kidneys doing about a fifth of that, so it's about 50 gallons of blood, or roughly 1,000 liters of blood every single day. So think of it like an oil filter of your car, right? It's always filtering that oil. And if it's not working properly, everything else is messed up. Your liver is so important to your health. You can see how I kept on unlocking these different skill sets. But it wasn't enough just to keep this knowledge in my head. I had to look at this photo and be like, how do I get the gallstones out of the gallbladder into the duodenum? And from there, I don't want it sitting in the small intestines. I need to flush out all these gallstones out of my body. Now, I've been doing this for years and years now, since 2023. On every 2 weeks, I'm flushing out gallstones out of my gallbladder. So when you see this transformation, I'm not just telling you, hey guys, you need to go to the gym, you need to do more reps, you need to do more sets, you need to be dieting, you need to be calorie counting, because I did all that And I still had a dad bod. I had weight loss rebound until I started to look into new information. I had to increase my coachability, I had to increase my teachability index. And what does that all involve? I had to increase my willingness to learn. I had to increase my willingness to accept change. Increasing my knowledge regarding natural health, increasing my knowledge on human physiology, learning from many different mentors in the world, naturopathic remedies, holistic doctors, but also had to find the right winning combination for myself. And as I refine this program, I've been coaching this around the world, okay? If you want to learn a little bit of my program, I have video 1, my story and the introduction to the digestive system. I'm going to teach you guys what is a shopping list. Next, I'm going to show you how to make the salt flush. Do this exactly. Now, don't just find a recipe you can find on YouTube. Those many people, it doesn't work, okay? I know what works. I coach hundreds of people doing this around the world. How do you drink the salt flush solution? How do you poop professionally? And what should you do after the cleanse? And how do you get rid of internal parasites? I explain it in very great detail. If you're interested in weight loss, improving digestive health, increasing energy levels, you want to enhance your self-confidence, if you want to reduce your brain fog, if you want better body odor control, oh my goodness, this is huge. Guys, many of you, you're absolutely disgusting with how you smell. And you don't even know because you're around yourself all the time. Maybe your family members, they tell you, oh, your clothes, they reek. You know, even if you wash the laundry, things like that. Well, if you go to the gym, you get some exercises done, there is an extra. It's not just the smell of the bad sweat, okay? There's something extra. I'll tell you what that extra is. Because a lot of you, you're chronically constipated. You got all this waste material sitting inside your colon. It's not getting out. They're putrefying inside your body right now. When your elimination isn't complete, because you're not going to the bathroom every single day. How do you know if chronic constipation is very simple? If you're not going to the bathroom every single day consistently, you're eating 2 to 3 meals per day, but you're not going to the bathroom, you're chronically constipated. You have residues of old feces that have been building up in layers on the walls of the colon as they putrefy. Putrefy means decay and rot. They're going to cause you health problems, pain and discomfort. Coming back to my program, if you want confidence in appearance, if you want improved overall health, reduce inflammation, better sleep, enhance immune function, if you're looking for long-term wellness, get this program, okay? I have coaches all over the world, not just in English. I have coaches in Asia, people in Singapore, people in Taiwan, people in Malaysia. I translated my program in Arabic. Guys, get this program. Now, why is it a little bit out of reach in terms of price? I'm selling this for $280, okay? And there are no refunds. I don't refund. Because many of y'all, you don't take anything serious. I used to give out this program for free. Guess what happens? People don't take it serious. It's still sitting down there in the downloads folder. Or I charge it at a very, very modest price. And guess what people do? They do it maybe once. And they just set it aside. They don't take it serious. Because there is a price value, and then how you going to take it serious, okay? And if it's not on your radar screen, it's not on your radar screen. So there are 2 programs so far I've shared with you, 3 programs. Number 1, the most important program, you want to get your wish is your command. Tap in on this link. It's going to take you to the sales page. You want to click buy now. Click and buy now. You want to enter the coupon code YWIYC, hit apply. Once you hit apply, go back on the top, fill out your contact, billing, and payment information. It's not going to charge you anything. Tap complete your order. Okay, after you tap complete your order, you'll see an email in your inbox. Tap on that email, you'll get access to this program. If you're joining this call, the coupon code is YWIYC. Use the link in my descriptions. So I've talked a lot about who do you listen to, teachability index, training balance scale, and I also throw this program up there. If you're looking to get a very, very good 30-day reset, you want to learn more about AI, you want to just turn your uncertainties into opportunities, this is Brad's program. I'm in this program right now, so I know how valuable this program is. Get this program. So learn more about Brad, learn how you can use AI, right? How you can streamline. If you want to reset your attention, reclaim your identity, design your inner environment. Designing that inner environment, guys, that's what he's talking about over here. Your unconscious thinking. Okay? If you want to learn that and improve on that, and you want to move like your future self, integration protocols, automatic alignment triggers, natural flow state activation, sustainable clarity practice. If that's what you want, listen, get that program too. Of course, you want to just go to this link. I'll also put it in the chat box so you guys can get to it really easy. So now you guys are beginning to understand what this training balance scale is all about. How you think and how you feel at a very deep level. Of course, there is a lot of misdirection, obfuscation. They always want to program failure in you. The system is designed to take you on a very dark path. They do not want you to win. They want you one step forward, two steps back. They don't want you out of the matrix. So it's going to take a lot of you, a lot of effort, a lot of sitting with yourself, really redefine what you want. What does that future version look like? How will that future version of yourself respond to situations, circumstances, challenges? Would they respond in a state of anxiety, or would they respond with grace and composure? Because they've already done the SWOT analysis. They see the strengths and weaknesses, they see the opportunities and threats, right? So working on this call. So lastly, we're going to talk about the 4 steps to learning. I'm going to take some little bit of a break. And if you're on this call, you can ask me different questions. We already covered a lot of information regarding your wishes, your command, the CD set. All right. The 4 steps to learning. What is this all about? Now, we all go through these stages of learning. We continue to go through them on a daily basis. If you remain teachable, you go from a place of unconscious incompetence. You don't know what you don't know. The best example I want to throw out there is when you're beginning to ride a bicycle. If you're learning how to ride a bicycle, when you first begin, you don't know what you're doing. You have your loved ones with you, and maybe you don't ride a bike right off the bat. You're riding a tricycle, you got some training wheels on. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you don't know. But your parents or your loved ones tell you to get your hands on the handle and you're going to pedal, okay, in such a way. But you're going to start to develop the neurology of riding, okay, that tricycle or training wheels. Unconscious competence. And you get excited, you're like, oh, I'm moving, doing this. The next part is you're going to develop something called conscious incompetence. Conscious incompetence. You know that you don't know something. You may be watching your neighborhood kids, they're a couple years older than you, and they're riding on their bicycles perfectly. Not only are they doing that, some of them are riding their bicycles without their hands on the handles. They're popping wheelies. And you're like, what is going on here? I'm just trying to struggle here on my tricycle, but there's so many things off of my radar screen I don't know right now. But over time, you're going to get better and better. You're going to develop something called conscious competence. You know that you know something about riding a bicycle. And before you know it, your training wheels are off. You're no longer riding that tricycle. When I first started, I had a bike and then it got stolen So I had to practice on my mother's bicycle. I had to lean her bike against the wall, just to get on the bike, and I would kick off against the wall. But over time, I think within a couple of weeks, I got pretty good at it. You know that you know something about riding a bicycle. And then you may get a phone call from your friends and say, hey, we're gonna go ride our bikes, go out to the neighborhoods, and you could develop something called unconscious competence. You know, and success is automatic. And that's beautiful. Okay? Doesn't matter if you're driving stick shift, doesn't matter you're tying your shoes for the first time, or you're trying to use chopsticks. That beginning learning is very, very uncomfortable, very, very challenging. But if you're to go after it, day in and day out, day in and day out, you develop something in the neurology for you actually install the skills of riding a bicycle in the subconscious mind down here. Because for many people, after they go to college and start working, they don't ride a bike. They just drive their cars all the time. But they may go on a family vacation, and then they're going to be like, wow, somebody told me about this bike trail that we're going to get a bike rental. And in that moment, you're not going to be like, oh, I don't know, I haven't been on a bike for such a long time. I'm very anxious about this. You're not, because your skill set of riding a bicycle is installed in the unconscious thinking. You don't have to think about it. Just like you're tying your shoelaces, right now you just tie it without thinking. Maybe you are very experienced at using chopsticks. You don't think about it, you just use it. Or if you're doing stick shift, yes, it was extremely challenging at first. Especially I started driving stick shift in Seattle, Washington, with all them hills, raining, okay? That was definitely challenging because if you're up that hill at the red light, you have to have your emergency brake on, right? And you're working with the clutch, working with the gas pedal. And then you can see, all right, the car is somehow moving in the forward direction because I don't want to roll back and hit the car behind me. Then I release the emergency brake. That's how you get through Seattle driving stick shift. If you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments. These steps to learning is something that we do all day, every day. And if you are persistent in your teachability index, you're going to come back. You think you know these lessons. You're going to go from a place of unconscious competence, and it's going to roll you right back into unconscious incompetence. Because there's always so much more that you don't know. So much more that you don't know. Previously, I was learning about liver health. And liver health, while you're here, you're like, well, the common bile duct is connected to everything. And people will come up to me and tell me that pancreatic problems, pancreas problems. Then I will study this even more in detail, right? So you can study one organ for the rest of your life and you don't get through all of it. Did you know most people, they just have one pancreatic duct, but other people, they may have two. There are names for them. One of them is called the Wirsung, W-I-R-S-U-N-G, and another one is called the Santorini. Woo! There is always something that you don't know. And you want to be learning these charts as early as possible because most of y'all, you don't know anything about anything. So you go to the hospital, they're going to throw up an MRI, they're going to throw up an X-ray, do some type of scan. You have no idea what you're looking at. And you're just going along with what doctor's telling you, what the doctor's telling you. You go along, right? Because there's nothing else in your database, there's nothing else in your knowledge base about alternative ways to fix this problem. In that state of fear and anxiety, you just go along. You just go along. You think you're making a very, very logical, practical decision. No, you're just going along in the currents of anxiety and fear. That's what you're going along with. Now, I just keep it very humble. There's always something I don't know. I continue to learn, continue to apply. Like this year, I'm learning how I can even improve the condition of my kidneys, right? Different detox teas that you can create, you can make using all herbal products. And what these do, they're going to help clean out the congestion out of the kidneys. If you improve your kidney health, you're going to improve your bladder health. If you improve your bladder health, you're going to improve your prostate health. So I'm going to say that again. Of course, nothing I share is professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment. Always see the advice physician, qualified health providers, any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. So what do we got over here? So we're looking at a dude over here, right? Dude's got the prostate. So your kidneys, they're also blood filtering organs. They're very, very delicate. And when you are dealing with diabetes, and it's very, very problematic, the viscosity of the blood is going to go up. When your blood viscosity goes up, your kidneys have to deal with all that mess. Just like if you don't change your oil, all right, and your oil filter is congested, and that oil is just getting thicker and thicker, and your engines has to work that much harder. That means your gas mileage is going down. If you know what I'm talking about, share with me in the comments what you think. Anybody here? Okay. Same thing with your body. So, diabetes usually leads to a lot of different kidney problems. Kidneys are congested. You got to find ways to get the congestion out of the kidneys, because it's going to affect the ureter. It's going to affect your bladder, right? Bladder health. It's going to definitely affect the prostate. And many people just have way too much waste material stuck inside these organs, and we need to clean them out. Now, they're not going to tell you all this if you go to your doctor, because they don't know this. They don't want you to know. But you have to have the presence of mind and be like, hey, I need to be fixing my health early. I can't wait until there are problems. Any single time you're dealing with a minor problem, you need to say to yourself, what is the root of this problem? And I need to fix it early. I can't let it sit around. As you remain teachable, new information is going to come off your radar screen, and they're going to have you learn. And you have a choice right there, right? You can continue to learn and improve yourself, but it's not enough just to learn. You need to have that willingness to learn, but you need to have that willingness to accept change. When we're talking about different protocols, such as liver detox, getting the gallstones out of the gallbladder, it's not going to be a comfortable process at all. It's only gotten better because I've been doing it for years now, and I got a big bulk of that congestion out of my body. But when you're doing it initially, it's very uncomfortable, but I have to trust and listen to my body and what it's telling me. My body's telling me, you're moving in the right direction, continue on. And that's why I'm seeing the type of results that I'm seeing now, because I continue to learn, continue to apply. So what questions do you guys have for me? I will cover a lot of information. Be happy to go over any specific questions that you may have regarding your wishes, your command. We have who do you listen to? We have teachability index, we have training balance scale, and with 4 steps, right? Where are you guys coming from? Where from? Be happy to connect with you, have a conversation with y'all. Oops, I didn't do one thing. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching this. I don't know where you guys are from. If you have any questions for me, you can leave them in the comments. Connect with me. Have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon.